Hi everyone. So, day one of official lockdown. I think everyone's feeling it already. It's quite scary times. So we came back from Butlins yesterday and came straight home. Sorry, I'm trying to sort out the tripod. Came straight home. It doesn't feel too bad, does it? Like the first evening goes okay, and I think you suddenly realise, like, it's when you get letters and things like that come through, and they tell you that, like, for the foreseeable future, things like your therapy program are paused, suspended, I don't know what the word is. And you live on your own, and technically your parents are like on like the at-risk sort of list, so it's really minimal contact for everyone. I wish I could be a bit more funny, but I'm not feeling it today. I'm pretty worried. I'm pretty worried that you know, I know I'd already had the phone call when I was at Butlins to say that, like, there'd be no face-to-face meetings with mental health services, and that, you know, due to the government's advice and everything, that, you know, things would be kind of put on hold. But then it doesn't really feel real until you get it in writing. And this morning I got it in writing that yes, it's paused or suspended, or so I'm going from having, like, some weeks 3 sessions a week down to having 2 sessions a week, and other weeks down to nothing. They've kind of committed to a 15-minute phone call from somebody, I guess, at least once a week, but I don't know, like, obviously there's a lot of people out there that have mental health problems that are really going to struggle now. And it's weird because I always, I'm quite happy being on my own. Like, it doesn't worry me being on my own. It doesn't worry me, like, you know, I've got food in at the moment, so that's fine, and I don't need to do what everyone else is doing and bulk buying stuff, because, you know, because so many people are out of a job. You don't realise, like, these things. You kind of think, you know, nowadays there's quite a few 0-hour contracts and stuff like that, but you just take it for granted. You assume that, you know, those people will just still get paid, like, but literally until, like, yesterday, you know, some of them probably well, some of them wouldn't have been getting any money at all. And you know, it makes me sad. Like, I sit here and I think, you know, like, I've tried so hard with going to the gym and doing exercise, and now I feel like it's going to be undone. It's going to be unraveled, because obviously, for like everybody's well-being and everyone's safety, like, you know, leisure centres and everything have all been shut down. You know, we're being told to sort of minimise any unnecessary social interactions, you know, in public. And I guess one of my fears was and is that, you know, with the millions and millions of school kids that, like, don't have school anymore, like, or for the foreseeable future, like, you kind of, you realise that, particularly like where I live, I live on an estate. It's a beautiful estate, but unfortunately, you know, as with living anywhere, there are some parents who just couldn't give a monkey's what their kids were up to, and already their kids have been turfed outside, and I don't, like, I'm not anti-kids, I'm not anti-kids having fun, you know, but I feel very much like I'm not quite sure where each of the children belongs, you know. I'm not quite sure who their parents are, but, like, you know, they've already restarted, you know, playing Knockdown Ginger, and I know a lot of people remember playing it when they were kids and you think it's harmless, but, like, in a situation like this now, like, it's actually, I'm not frightened by it, but it worries me that, like, this is what I'm gonna have, like, for however many months. People, you know, these kids ringing my doorbell or banging on my door, or, you know, and yeah, I don't want it. I don't want them, you know, ringing and banging on my door. You know, I feel, I don't know, I'm not, I just think, you know, in times like this, actually, parents they need to step up, and they need to be entertaining their children, like, not just chucking them out on the street, because that's not social isolation. And the people whose doors they're knocking on, I would be worried that my child was knocking on someone's door who had coronavirus. You know, you don't know nowadays, and alright, they may think that they're fast enough, but sometimes they're not, to get away, because you see them, you hear them, you see them, you know it's coming. And please excuse my really noisy gulping cat who's having a drink. It's scary not knowing how long this is going to go on for. Like, I feel sorry, like, you know, I I have mental health problems. I have issues sometimes with getting out of the house and, you know, with getting the basic things done, and the last thing I need is a bunch of kids making that worse. And then I think not just about me, but I think about, you know, elderly neighbours. I mean, I don't actually know if there are any, like, around where I live. But just imagine if you struggle to get out of your chair as an elderly person to answer a door to nobody because kids think it's hilarious to ring the doorbell and run away. And it makes me frightened for those people because they could fall. And whilst some have panic alarms and all the rest of it, not everybody does. Or if they do, unfortunately not everyone is compliant with them. Not everyone wants to use them, like, and they could be laying on that floor because they can't get up and they can't get near a phone or anything else for so much longer now because everything's all shut down, and, you know, elderly are being advised to self-isolate for weeks. I mean, I just can't even begin to imagine it. It is certainly a very strange world out there right now, and it's very uncertain. I mean, I'm lucky, I have my cat, so I can be the crazy cat lady and chat to my Roxy socks. Oh no. You coming? You coming? Come on. Come say hello to everybody. Oh, little monkey. Just like listening now, I can hear the kids out there, and I'm constantly aware that they're out there, and I'm constantly aware that they're gonna, like, probably ring my doorbell a million times, and it stresses me out because, like I've said, leaving the house is a big deal for me in the first place, and to have this lot just doing it is so unsettling. It's so unsettling at a time when really support is so limited. There's a part of me that probably wants to just cry right now, but I'm not gonna allow them to get to me to that point. Like I said, I feel on edge. I'm waiting for them to ring the doorbell again. I'm waiting for them to bang on the door. I'm waiting for it. And I don't want to feel like that. I want to feel relaxed. You know, if I've got to be in self-isolation for, you know, or in isolation for however long, like, I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to be on edge. I've just figured out where one of the girls lives. And I'm pretty sure two of them live next door to me, so I don't know, it's strange, like, I guess at a time like this, I guess one positive to take from it is we all have that time now to phone that person that we haven't spoken to for maybe years and years, to remind them that we're still here for them, that we still care for them, even if you haven't spoken for 5, 6, 7, 8 years or whatever. Like, you know, now's that good time to take that time to pick up the phone and make sure they're okay, and and reconnect with people. We're so very lucky that this is happening in a generation where we have, you know, FaceTime and WhatsApp and all these different, Zoom, which I'd never even heard of. Oh my gosh, I've only just heard about it now, signed up, have no idea what it's like. So we're so lucky to have those things, because even though we are alone, like maybe in our houses, or you know, there's just 2 or 3 of us, like, and we're getting on each other's nerves, at least we can have like a face-to-face conversation. You know, if you think back to when I was a kid, there wasn't any of these things, and you could only use your landline at certain times, and not many people had like the internet at home, or you know, or even a computer at home. So yeah, we're very, very lucky. And we're even more lucky as a country to have so many workers, not just doctors and nurses, not, you know, but also all the people that work in the supermarkets, all the people that work in the bigger shops and things like that have, unless they have a pre-existing condition, have no choice but to do their jobs. You know, the people that work as care workers, that come out to individual homes, that could be the only person that someone sees in, I don't know, the week. You know, we're so lucky, so lucky to have those people going out and making sure that everyone's okay. So I guess, yeah, it's we have to be thankful for those people. We have to be thankful for every person who can go out and do their job, that is going out and doing their job, and are working so hard to keep things going. And on the other hand, we have to think about their families and their loved ones, and whether they're putting them at risk by going out and doing that job, stocking those shelves, or you know, whatever. We do have to think about them too, and we have to be thankful for them, for the fact that, you know, they're happy to, not happy, maybe not happy at all to take the risk, but they are taking the risk. Cat just ran in, attacked my foot, and then ran past me. So yeah, I want to say a big shout out to all those shop workers, lorry drivers, care workers, community teams, you know, doctors, nurses, the volunteers even that work at hospitals, and a big shout out to the people that work in leisure centres that only get paid for the classes that they run. I mean, now look at the situation they're in. I can't even imagine it. yeah, I don't know, like, this is probably, it's just a bit of a ramble, really. So I'm gonna leave it there for, you know, for now. And go and try and find something to take my mind off of all the worrying that all the worried feelings that I'm feeling. Yeah, I hope everybody is taking the right precautions and is staying safe, and I hope that we can get through it, and I send my love to each and every family who have lost someone already to COVID-19 or coronavirus. You know, it has to be such a difficult time for them too right now, so my thoughts are with all of you. And yeah, I'll vlog again sometime soon. Bye.